The MLB trade line's closing in. It's getting closer and closer, and even closer than that. So Pat and I here, we're gonna give you guys 4 trades that we think should happen at the trade deadline. We're gonna have some fun with this. We are using the Baseball Trade Values website to verify our trade value-wise. We will have to give the logic for it. Explain yourself. Make sure that this trade isn't like DeGrom for like guys for like I don't know for like a bag of peanuts. Don't do that.
Remember that guy that got traded for like 50 bats like 10 years ago, like that?
Yeah. Or in the NBA, Kyle Korver got traded for a printer. Yeah, we're not doing that today. But we have some fun trades. Pat has 2 and I have 2. So we're gonna get straight into this. I'm obviously Pat's next to me. My name is Derek. You're watching Bleacher Brawls, and let's get straight into it. First up, I'm gonna let Pat go first on his first trade. So you're gonna give me the 2 teams, and then you're gonna tell me who is being traded. We will pop them up on screen as well.
Yeah. All right. So you want the Red Sox trade first, or you want the Orioles trade first?
We'll save the Red Sox. We'll save the best for last. So give me the Orioles trade first.
All right. Got the cap on. Let's do this. Okay. I just wrote a column over at The Boy Who Loved Joe Kelly. You can find it on my Twitter profile. It's an excellent piece talking about the 2022 Orioles and how they should not change a thing, except there are 2 guys I feel like they could part with. And those 2 guys are Anthony Santander and Ramon Urias, their current third baseman, their current right fielder. Guys that I feel like are blocking some minor league talent, guys that I feel like have some solid trade value. They can get rid of them, and I don't think it would be too dire. And so it's them, those 2 fellas for the Orioles. And for the Dodgers, we have Gavin Stone. Okay, let's go through this. Cody Bellinger cannot play every day in Los Angeles anymore. It's a mess. Okay, he's a big black hole in the middle of their lineup, and they're too good for that shit. And they need somebody stronger than that. And Santander can be that guy. They also, Muncie's been struggling forever now, and Ramon Urias could kind of take that spot, the infielder off the bench. And in return, the Orioles get a solid prospect. MLB ranks Gavin Stone 18th in the Dodgers system, so I don't feel like he's too valuable for them. I feel like that's a trade that they would do. But the guy's been really, really sharp so far early on in his minor league career. This year, he's got a 1.5 ERA and 106 strikeouts in 78 innings. So the guy's just lighting up the minors right now. I posted this to the trade board, and I got a comment, my very first baseball trade values comment, and I want to read it to you from Orioles fan 1964. So you can kind of guess if this guy's going to like this deal or not. He says, "I guess I'd have to say yes. Gavin Stone is a 23-year-old Dodgers prospect pitching at Tulsa in AA right now. His stat line is impeccable. He has a fastball, slider, changeup mix, blah, 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 blah. Santander and Urias are very good players, but they are blocking under players the O's could bring up after the deadline. This fits the trade position players for pitching mantra the Orioles have hinted at. Here it is. That's my first trade."
Yeah, obviously it is a very interesting one. Sounds fine for me. Honestly. Obviously we don't know each other's trades.
Right.
So we're gonna keep a surprise. I'm gonna go for the big fish first, though. Juan Soto. Gotta go for the big
Too
fish
easy.
First.
Click the top 10 guys on the values website, and there you go.
Well, he's the one name who's been brought up in trade discussions. So I'm gonna go for the team who I would like to see him go to the Mariners, just because like Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto and one outfield I think would be so fun to watch. But I have him going to the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals have to give up Dylan Carlson. They would have to give up Jordan Walker, their number 1 prospect. They'd have to give up their number 4 prospect, Mason Wynn, and their number 8 prospect, Alec Burleson. It is a big price to give up for Juan Soto. However, I do think that it could get it done. Maybe If you're the Cardinals, maybe give up a little bit more. Maybe you don't have to give a little bit less. I don't know. But if you're the Cardinals, you don't have to eat a bad contract. Yes, you have to part ways with things that you don't necessarily want to part ways with. But that's what's going to happen in a Juan Soto trade. Either way, there are going to be some fans that are for Juan Soto trade and against it. But overall, I think it makes sense for both teams. The Cardinals want to win a World Series with Pujols and Molina and Wainwright in their last year. Getting Juan Soto is the best way to do it.
Yeah, this Juan Soto sweepstakes thing is bananas to me. I see this online of, okay, if the Red Sox, just for example purposes, the Red Sox wanted Juan Soto, they'd have to give up Tristan Casas, Marcelo Meyer, Josh Winkowski, and Blaze Jordan and Fenway Park. Okay. And then you have to pay the guy $500 million. That's insane. I mean, whatever team does this, the GM has, balls of steel, man. I mean, this is going to be either the biggest win or the biggest failure, I think, maybe of the 21st century in baseball. Like, this is going to be the biggest make or break of this guy's career. He's going to last 2 more months, or he's going to, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, whichever GM makes this move, and that's a hell of a gamble. And it scares me. Listen, send him to the NL or keep him in the NL. That's fine with me. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, it's, I was looking at a Mariners trade. The Mariners are about 20 million in median trade value short in a deal that I had. So they could get it done to the 8th sum of Corbin's contract. But
that's
I went for the
all the Juan Soto trades on this website are like Juan Soto and Corbin, because his contract sucks, and and Strasburg,
Yeah. Whereas that trade, it's the Cardinals, they're not eating a bad contract, but they're getting, which means they do have to give up more. But hey, you're also not getting a bad contract, means you have more money to sign Soto to a potential $500 million+ deal.
Yikes, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. And they got Josh Bell. He's obviously getting shipped out too. Is he going in the same deal? I mean, this whole thing is it's bonkers.
Yeah, it really is. It's the definition of bonkers. Next up, though, I'm gonna let you get to your second trade here. What do you have? Right. What teams? Right. Obviously, the Red Sox are one, but who's the second team?
So here's our Red Sox deal. We need a first baseman. I love Bobby, but Bobby sucks. And
do not take my trade.
And all of these names, no, because I know you're picking CJ Cron. Too easy. Josh Bell, too easy. Okay. Who's the other one that everybody keeps mentioning? Trey Mancini is not going in the division. There's somebody else. Too easy. Okay.
Christian Walker's the other one.
Yes, thank you. I came up with this morning. I thought I was a genius. And then I saw an article on MLB Trade Rumors 30 minutes later, somebody proposing this. And I was like, well, it's not only me who's thinking this. Daniel Vogelbach.
Well, I'm going to have to stop you right there, Pat, because unfortunately, just after we finished recording, Daniel Vogelbach was traded to the Mets. Unfortunate. Pat's trade had Vogelbach going to the Red Sox. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen now because he's on the Mets. But yeah, if you guys want to know that trade, let us know and we'll leave it in the comments. So we're just going to move on to my second trade. Pat only gets one trade, unfortunately, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. So let's get into my trade, the final trade, the third one of this video. Okay, well, I think we know I'm going with CJ Cron here, obviously. That makes sense. But I'm going to go on my case for CJ Cron.
All right, give it to me.
Yes, the Red Sox only need a first baseman for the next couple months, but they do need a DH for next year. And CJ Cron can be that DH for next year. And if Casas needs an extra, couple weeks or a month or whatever in the minors, you can always just throw Cron at first base at the start of next year. And then I'm also big on bringing Daniel Bard back. I think that makes, a ton of sense for the Red Sox. You get a little nice, fun reunion with Daniel Bard, and he has been good this year. He's been killing it for my fantasy team, so I love that. So I have Daniel Bard and CJ Cron going to the Red Sox. Back to the Rockies, I have Bobby Dahlbeck, Shane Drohan, and Chris Murphy. I know you don't want to get rid of Dahlbeck, but you kind of have to. The only other guy I could see them maybe giving up is Matthew Lugo, but I'm very, very high on Matthew Lugo. So I wrote about him in one of my columns I wrote back in June. I really like him. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, Pat, but Dahlbeck's gonna go. Johan, I like too. He might actually get called up to Double A, depending on the Red Sox are doing roster gymnastics with not just the big league team on the pitching side, but the whole entire minor league. So he might get a call up to Double A because they need pitchers, as is the Triple A team. And then Chris Murphy just got called up to Triple A. He's looking good. But you do have to part ways with stuff to get stuff back. The Red Sox have a bunch of high minors starting pitching ahead of Chris Murphy. You know, you have Bayo, Walter, Siebold, Winkowski, even Crawford I'd still have there. They have Matta, even Jake Grooms kind of ahead of Murphy, maybe they're about the same level. I'd throw in Chris Murphy though instead of Jake Groom. And then Johan adds that little extra piece because even though they have Dahlbeck as 6.9 median trade value, they also have low and high numbers, and I'm considering Dahlbeck on the lower scale of their range that they have. And I'm also kind of considering Crone a little bit on the high scale of what they have. So I'm accounting for that. It does say a minor overpay for the Red Sox. But I think when you consider how I'm seeing a Dahlbeck a little bit on the lower side of his value, Crone on a little bit the higher side, it evens out. And it makes sense for both teams. The Rockies just need prospects, and the Red Sox need a first baseman for this year, and they could use a guy who has control past this year, like Crone, and they need another bullpen arm. And what's more fun than bringing Daniel Bard back for a reunion?
I get what you're saying, and I'm with you. However, two things, okay? You got to remember, this is Chaim Bloom. Number one, this guy doesn't give a shit about Daniel Bard. He was not around when Daniel Bard was around. We love him. We miss him. We were all sad that the starter experiment failed. He doesn't give a shit about him. Nobody in this organization cares about Daniel Bard anymore. And also, I feel like this is too blockbustery, right? Like the Josh Bells and the CJ Corns, like these are guys that like, these are the names for first baseman right now, right?
Yeah.
And we don't seem to do shit like that, right?
I mean, they brought in Schwarber last year, though.
Schwarber and made him a first baseman last year, right? That was not the same thing, you know. Like I feel like it's going to be more like smaller move. Let's see if it works. Maybe it doesn't. Kind of.
It's going to be Dom Smith. No, let's be honest. It's going to be Dom Smith.
That's what I'm. That kind of thing, like a redemption tour kind of shit. You know.
But
like
the thing is, like if it's, I feel like if it's Dom Smith, it's going to be one of those moves where it's like, yeah, we're selling JD. We'll send you JD Martinez. Give us Dom Smith and a prospect.
Nobody's picking. Like we're not picking up any of like the top 10, you know, trade candidates. We're just not. You know, I'm still shocked we signed Trevor Story. You know, like that's a blockbuster move. That doesn't seem to be the Chaim Bloom way, and I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think it'll, but he does value years of control. Yeah. I think Crone's more likely than Bell, Christian Walker, or Trey Mancini. I'd say that.
Yeah.
And I think Bard is still somewhat likely because he's one of the better cheap relief options available.
Yeah.
And just a 1-year deal. It's either him or Robertson, it seems like.
That's another one. Robertson's like top 3, top 5 relievers is going to be available at the deadline. We're not getting David Robertson. You know.
Yeah, well, you never know.
He's going in the Wilson Contreras trade.
That actually wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, we'll see. These are our 4 trades.
Oh, that was the other thing about my Pirates thing is, hey, we're on good terms with them. We just made a trade with them last year.
Last year.
That worked out for both sides. You know, Chaim and whatever that guy's name is. They're
is it Charrington there?
You know,
Charrington.
In Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh, yeah, I think it is.
Oh, I think you're right. You know, they're buddies. They get drinks. You know, they get along. I think that I'm calling it.
All right. Well, looks like Pat's got the whole Chaim Bloom and Ben Charrington on speed dial. They got each other on speed dial.
I'm falling down the rabbit hole, dude. This website's driving me insane.
And it's a fun thing to play around with, obviously. I will leave the link to the Baseball Trade Values website down in the description, along with all the Bleacher Brawls links, the website, podcast, Instagram, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell while you're down there so you get notified every time we put up a video. Got a lot of videos coming up. We just put up a lot of videos in the last week, and we'll have a bunch more as the trade deadline gets closer and closer. For Pat, I'm Derek. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.